Hi guys, welcome back. If you're looking for your next favorite read, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit subscribe and let's jump in.
Hello, my beautiful soul family. Lily here from Books4Soul, and I've been absolutely buzzing with excitement about something that's been on my heart lately, the transformative power of words. Just last week, I witnessed something magical at my favorite coffee spot. A barista, with nothing but her words and presence, turned an angry customer's storm into sunshine. The customer came in like a thundercloud but left radiating warmth. It made me wonder, how often do we underestimate the power of our own words to create connection and change? Have you ever found yourself in awe of someone who seems to effortlessly command attention and connection? Maybe it's that coworker who always knows how to articulate their thoughts perfectly in meetings, or that friend who can transform even the most awkward silence into a moment of genuine connection. I used to believe these people were born with some magical gift, that natural charisma that makes every word they speak land perfectly. But here's what completely shifted my perspective. Through years of exploring communication and interviewing incredible speakers for Books4Soul, I've uncovered a beautiful truth. That magnetic ability to connect? It's not some elusive superpower reserved for a chosen few. It's more like learning to dance. Yes, some people might have natural rhythm, but anyone can learn the steps and find their unique flow. The real magic happens when we stop comparing our journey to others and start embracing our authentic voice. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to share something special with you. We're diving into The Dignity of Speech by Lee Ki-chul. And let me tell you, this book has completely transformed how I think about communication. Lee isn't just any author. He's the brilliant mind behind speeches for South Korea's president and a master at helping people find their voice. But what really excites me is how he breaks down these seemingly complex communication skills into simple, practical steps that anyone, yes, even if you're super shy like I used to be, can master. I've taken his incredible insights and combined them with my own experiences to bring you 4 game-changing strategies that I promise will transform how you connect with others. Whether you're dreaming of becoming a more confident presenter, hoping to deepen your relationships, or just wanting to express yourself more authentically, I've got you covered. So grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's explore how you can unlock your full communication potential. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see communication in a whole new light. Ready to begin this journey together? Let's start with our first key insight about the power of listening. You know, sometimes silence speaks louder than words. In conversations, what truly keeps the dialogue flowing between two people is when both sides get to share stories about themselves. It's about creating that beautiful balance, having your chance to speak, while also giving the other person the space to express what's in their heart. Have you ever been in a conversation where you felt truly heard? Where the other person wasn't just waiting for their turn to talk, but genuinely listening to understand you? That's the magic we're talking about here. Think of a conversation like a dance. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. But the most beautiful moments happen when you're both moving in sync, giving each other room to express yourselves. That's when real connection happens. When we listen not just to respond, but to understand. So here's a question for you. In your conversations, do you find yourself more often in the role of the speaker or the listener? And how does that make you feel? There's a powerful story in the book about former President Barack Obama that really struck me. During a public speech, someone stood up to protest against immigration policies. Immediately, security moved to remove the protester. But before things escalated, Obama stopped them, saying there was no need to remove this person. Instead, he listened to what the protester had to say. Obama explained that the man was simply worried about his family and that we must respect everyone's right to speak their mind. You know what really blows my mind about this story? Obama showed us that true leadership isn't about shutting down opposition, it's about creating space for different voices. I started applying this in my own life, and let me tell you, it's incredible how much people open up when they feel truly heard. When we put aside our urge to interrupt or defend, and just really listen, something magical happens. That's when real understanding begins. Think about it. If you meet a friend you haven't seen in a while, and throughout the conversation, they only talk about themselves, constantly steering the focus back to them, how would you feel? You'd probably be less inclined to meet or open up to them again, right? Communication needs to be a two-way street, with both sides sharing about themselves. When one person dominates the conversation, it stops being a dialogue and becomes more like a therapy session. There's a great line in the book: respect means opening your ears to the other person. The wisdom of life comes from knowing when to listen, while troubles often stem from careless words. As the saying goes, trouble comes from the mouth, right? So please remember, in conversations, sometimes silence is more important than speaking. Let me share with you a powerful communication secret I discovered in one of our Books4Soul recommendations. It's called the 1, 2, 3 rule of communication. Speak once, listen twice, respond 3 times. Here's why this works. Speaking once means clearly expressing your perspective without over-talking. It's about being concise yet authentic. But here's the magic. Listening twice reminds us that communication is more about receiving than transmitting. How often do we find ourselves waiting for our turn to speak, rather than truly hearing what the other person is saying? Now, the most transformative part: responding 3 times. This means actively engaging with what you've heard. It could be through thoughtful questions, validating their feelings, or building on their ideas. Imagine how it feels when someone not only hears your words but truly engages with them. That's the kind of connection we all crave. This approach creates a beautiful rhythm in conversations. When you respond thoughtfully multiple times, the other person feels truly heard and valued. It's like creating a dance where both partners are in sync, each movement building on the last. What would happen if we all practiced this in our daily conversations? How might our relationships transform if we truly listened twice as much as we spoke? You know, I found some simple yet powerful techniques that can completely transform how we connect with others. Let me share what's worked for me, and I think you'll find it helpful too. First, let's talk about eye contact. When you're having a conversation, try looking into the other person's eyes, but not in that intense, hypnotic way that makes people uncomfortable. Instead, imagine your gaze as like a warm spotlight, gently focusing on them and what they're saying. This simple act does 2 magical things. It helps you truly listen to their words instead of getting caught up in your own thoughts about what to say next, and it makes the other person feel seen and valued. Now here's another game changer: your body language and responses. When you're listening, try nodding occasionally and using curious, engaged phrases like, "Really?" or "What happened next?" These small actions show that you're not just hearing words, you're connecting with their story on an emotional level. It's like saying, "I'm right here with you, and I genuinely care about what you're sharing." But here's the thing. If these habits don't come naturally to you at first, that's okay. You can practice them intentionally. The key is to let your genuine interest and care shine through. It's not about exaggerated nodding or forced eye contact. That can actually make the conversation feel awkward and fake. Instead, focus on being present and truly connecting with the other person's experience. When your actions come from a place of authentic curiosity and empathy, you'll create conversations that feel natural and meaningful. In the previous 2 tips, we mainly focused on how to engage in conversations as a passive listener. Now, let's shift gears and explore how to take on an active role in conversations. When chatting with friends, you might find yourself rambling endlessly, sharing story after story. While this might work in casual settings, it's not always appropriate. Like when you're speaking up in class, presenting in a meeting, or giving a toast at a wedding. In these situations, people often fall into one of 2 categories. The first type is the person who's too shy or hesitant to speak up. When they do, their mind goes blank, and they're afraid of saying something wrong. This lack of confidence in expressing their thoughts prevents others from truly understanding them. The second type is the person who talks too much, often going off topic. These individuals are usually confident, but they overdo it in their eagerness to express themselves. When given the chance to speak, they fear not being able to say everything they want, so they ramble on and on. This can make them come across as self-centered and even annoying, leaving their audience feeling drained. So, what's the best way to express yourself while leaving a positive impression? Keep it short, clear, and to the point. One technique I often use when I need to speak spontaneously is jotting down key points on my phone beforehand. This outline helps me stay focused. If time doesn't allow for that, I quickly think of 2-4 keywords in my head and structure my thoughts around them. Another helpful tip is to present your ideas in a numbered list. First, second, third. Ever notice how leaders often start their speeches with, "Today, I'd like to share 3 things." This approach makes your message logical, organized, and persuasive. You can even use this method during job interviews. Introducing yourself or sharing your perspective in a structured way shows preparation and thoughtfulness, which leaves a great impression on interviewers. There's also a universal formula you can use when you're suddenly called to speak or need to address a crowd. Thank, reflect, and envision. Start by expressing gratitude. Thank the organizers, your company, or your colleagues for the opportunity. Next, reflect on the topic at hand. For example, summarize what you've learned or achieved recently. Finally, share your vision for the future. Acknowledge areas where you still need to grow and express your commitment to improvement. You can even end with a heartfelt wish for everyone, wrapping up your speech on a positive note. Of course, the most compelling speakers often have a wealth of knowledge and language skills to draw from. Reading more books is one of the best ways to build this foundation. The more you read, the more your ability to express yourself and think critically will grow. Combine this with a solid speaking formula, and your words will carry more weight and influence. Here's a story that illustrates an important lesson. An artist once invited art enthusiasts to his home to view his collection. Everyone admired the works of artist A but disliked those of artist B. When the group arrived, the host showed them a piece they assumed was by artist B, and they immediately began criticizing it. Only then did the host reveal it was actually by artist A. This story reminds us to be careful not to let biases cloud our judgment when we speak. A key communication skill is to avoid rushing to judgment or assuming our opinions are flawless. When offering feedback or advice, focus on the issue at hand, not the person. The goal is to improve the situation, not to belittle someone. Criticism can easily veer off course, making you come across as condescending or even hostile. In life, it's easy to point out others' flaws, but doing so only diminishes your character and pushes people away. Beautiful souls, I hope these communication secrets from The Dignity of Speech have sparked something special in you today. Remember, finding your voice isn't about becoming someone else. It's about letting your authentic self shine through with more confidence and clarity. I'd love to hear about your own communication journey. What resonated most with you from today's tips? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what another soul seeker needs to hear. Next week, we're diving into another life-changing book about building meaningful relationships in our digital age. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to join our growing community of mindful communicators. And hey, if you found value in today's video, sharing is caring. Pass it along to someone who might need these insights. Together, we can create a world where every voice is heard and valued. This is Lily from Books4Soul, sending you lots of love and positive energy. Can't wait to continue this journey with you next week. Until then, keep shining and stay soulful.
Hi guys, welcome back. If you're looking for your next favorite read, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit subscribe and let's jump in.